warm-up act. I know it's all as you can see today, which is me, so this is like the warm-up of the Congress show or something. I'm not sure, but you don't get much comedy from me other than just it's a new year. We're starting again, and I wanted to just sort of recap a little about where we've been and where we're headed. First and foremost, I wanted to thank our fans. It's been an interesting 5-6 months as we have journeyed into a couple different areas to try and just make sure that we're staying in touch with our fan base as we go through some significant changes in our program, specifically with our stadium and the way we want to conduct our business and the things that we're doing. So a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, we launched the Big Blue Initiative, fan initiative, trying to get our fans an opportunity to tell us what they wanted and what they were looking for in areas of customer service and areas of game day atmospheres and those kind of things. And the responses were unbelievable. We had about 1,500 emails, significant other places where our fans jumped in the middle of conversations about what we've got going on game day. And it's been really, really good. I'm thankful that they've done that. I think everybody sits and thinks that I'm pressing buttons, selecting music on game day. I will assure you that does not happen. I'm not picking videos. I'm not picking music. But that was just a piece of it, and we got a lot of input in a lot of different areas. I would say when you total it up, we have about 1,700 suggestions in some way, shape, or form. Some of those were a little repetitive in terms of same thoughts and same mindsets. A lot of them. Music selection, in-game traditions, scores, video updates from throughout the country, other areas, and things like that. So a lot of that. We've made some progress. I think we've addressed some of those things. Some of those things won't be able to be addressed until we get into the new stadium, and we get that all done. I know Russ Perez anxiously have the countdown of the calendar on his thing until September 5th of next year. He's inside of 400 days, and clearly is aware that that's a part of it. We've got to get the stadium ready for this year so we can be playable and make sure everybody has access to the places necessary for the game, obviously. And then obviously we've got a lot of work to do in the off season as we prepare. So it's about a 1.5 to 2-year journey in this thing, and in terms of the facility piece of what we're talking about. I would ask that our fans stay involved in the process. We absolutely want to continue to involve the fans in the process of what we're doing on game day. And I think you will see some things. Just to give you an example, my old Kentucky home, where do you want to see it? Well, the input came back. They want to see it at the beginning of the game and at the end of the game. We'll continue to do that. That's what the fans have asked. And I've had a lot of feedback from time to time about what that should look like. And so that's what the fans want, and that's what we're going to do. In the process of doing that, we did some things like voting for the bracket tournament, kind of a run out of what the team runs out on the field to. And players pick some music, and the fans voted, and I'm sure you'll all recognize the song. So hold on about that. But it's been good. So I'm thankful that everybody is participating in that, and looking forward to continuing to work through the BBN initiative that we put in place, BBN First initiative. The SEC network, big news around that. Obviously, everybody's been paying attention to that. Who has picked it up, who has not. The distribution on that has been outstanding through the league office, and thankful for all the efforts of the league and ESPN, but I'm most thankful for the fans. Our fans put significant pressure in the league, not just Kentucky fans, but in the league, put significant pressure on distributors and said, we want this network. It has a chance to be the most successful cable launch in the history of cable television, or launch in the history of cable television, and that's exciting for our league. It's exciting for our programs. It gives us an opportunity to showcase our programs across the country. The distribution, just on the outset, everybody picked up. You're in that 90 million home range. Clearly not everyone has got it just yet or picked it up just yet. But that's what it's available to right now, and it's continuing to grow. I'm real excited about getting that cranked up. And that will launch August 14th from our league. Obviously, our basketball program will be one of the first live programming pieces on that from the Bahamas, and that'll be exciting for our basketball program. So I want to thank our fans for their engagement in that process, and I think it's an exciting time for for the Southeastern Conference and for the University of Kentucky to be a part of that. A really, really important piece as we go forward. So we're looking forward to that. The Commonwealth Stadium renovation, touch on that just briefly. You hear what's going on outside, you can see what's going on. We've got a lot of work to do, and as I said, Russ is heavy in the middle of all that. Russ Perry is doing a great job of trying to pull all the details together. It is a massive project, a great undertaking to try and do some utility work and some steel work and get it all ready to go, clean it all up, play some games, continue construction. Then at the end of this season, obviously we'll get into it hot and heavy in terms of all the showing out the rest of the stadium. In that transition, there's a lot going on. A lot of places we can't get to, a lot of places we can't park, and there's going to be some consternation and there's going to be some angst a little bit in some of those pieces. Growth obviously can't always happen unless there's some change in all that, and it's hard. And sometimes that means we've got to move some folks and change some parking. We've still got the best parking of any school in the Southeastern Conference. There's no question about that. It may move some folks around a little bit. It may change a few of our seating structures a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're going to have a better place to play football, a better place to represent the University of Kentucky, and I'm hoping we'll have everybody's patience and understanding, and we work our way through that, and we grow this thing the way we all want to. With that said, up on the screens to my left and my right, you will see some pictures, some pictures of our new training center. We're closing down schematic design of that, so we're still in draft on a lot of that. And so those are the pictures that we have that sort of give you some kind of idea of what that looks like. And as you look at this, it will be on the backside of another indoor center over here off as we go past towards Alumni Drive. Give you some kind of idea where that looks like, and we'll go there with some practice fields and the training center. It's about 95,000 to 100,000 square feet in that zone for football, and that will give us an opportunity to do some really, really cool, unique things. Time this whole facility in one-stop shop, our players in an area where they can get everything that they need for the University of Kentucky football in one area. So we're excited about that. We think that we'll finish up schematic design later on this fall, and then we'll be able to begin the process and get into the construction process. So I'm real excited about that and be able to move forward with that. So I hope that this gives people a little bit of a glimpse of what we've been trying to put together over the last few months. I would like to refer people to the Game Day website. Continue to go to the Game Day website if the media could continue to plug that in terms of places our fans can go to get up-to-date information on a regular basis with regards to traffic patterns, parking, things within the stadium structure that could change, not on a daily basis, but on an occasional basis based upon what's going on in the construction. And I would like to encourage them to make sure they continue to stay in touch with the Game Day website and look to that. So pay attention to that. And then the other thing I'd like to also address is just to thank our coaches and our athletes for last year. Tonight, we're going to have a little get-together with our staff tonight and the families tonight for all the folks that contributed to the best finish in our department's history in terms of national finish. We finished 11th in the country, 5 points out of the top 10, and we're the third-ranked school in the SEC in terms of national finish for a total department. And that doesn't come without a great effort from a lot of people, whether that was our coaching staff and the things that they did to bring student athletes to this program, the student athletes' efforts. We had some teams that did some remarkable things and had a lot of fun. And 18 of our 22 teams placed nationally and did a remarkable job. And then our staff, and just the things that go into getting ready to play and doing all the things that we do, whether it's the medical care, it's the academics, the things that are going on. We have the best academic year we've ever had. We have the best athletic year we've ever had. We've got to continue to grow on that. And my message to our athletes simply is don't stop. Don't stop. We've had a lot of fun. It was a good run last year. We did a lot of really good things, but don't stop. And so we want to keep going. And so that's the message. But I would be remiss if I didn't publicly say, really for the first time since June 30th and the end of our year, thanks to our coaches and our athletes. It was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of remarkable performances. During the month of July, we had an opportunity to celebrate A.J. Reed. and the 5-time National Player of the Year. There wasn't an award he didn't win. Probably one of the more remarkable individual seasons in all of college sports. I'm not sure that's been done very often in terms of nationally, and I think went a little under the radar for what he did. He had a remarkable year, and want to congratulate AJ on all the things that he did nationally. So remarkable. I'd be a little remiss, a little out of line if I started mentioning a bunch of other individual performances. We had a bunch of athletes do a remarkable job, but I'd like to thank them for a great year and a great finish. So that's really sort of where I'll end my comments. I will take some questions if you have any, and then conclude my warm-up back for Coach Hughes. So, anybody have any questions?
Mitch, how do you judge success for football on the field this fall?
Well, I just think we got to, I think we want to continue to make progress. Everybody's going to look in terms of W's and L's. That's the first place everybody goes, and that's a reasonable, that's a reasonable expectation. We all want to win. We want to see our program make progress. We're going to have a lot of young guys on the field. We'll have a lot of freshmen and sophomores on the field. A lot of redshirt kids, and that's positive. I think you'll see growth out of them. I think that's. We've always said it before. You'll know progress when you see it. You'll see us making less mistakes in certain areas, less penalties, less turnovers, getting more turnovers, creating a different environment for our team, moving the ball late game, making adjustments, and doing things we need to win some games. So hopefully we'll do that. But everyone wants to see it show up in W's and L's, and certainly we would too. The goal is to get to postseason play and to do that. That's always the goal, whatever we do. So, but I think we'll all recognize the progress when we see it, and I would anticipate that. I think we've got a good group of young, talented guys, and a bunch of guys fighting for positions all across the board. And this is as much competition for position as I've seen since I've probably been in Kentucky. I mean, there's depth in a lot of areas in terms of people, and now who will come out of that to take the jobs is yet to be seen.
Mitch, with the vote yesterday by the NCAA about the more autonomy for the Power 5 conferences, as they're called, there's some talk now about maybe the Power 5 conferences only scheduling games against each other and not going outside that. Would you be in favor of that?
No,
Do you see that happen?
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I really don't. I don't think that will happen. I think we've got to, for the strength of the game of football, we're going to have to schedule other folks, and I think that's important. A lot of people are pointing to, quote unquote, the RPI, the strength of schedule stuff for the playoff system. Our strength of schedule is plenty good in the SEC. We're fine, and everybody is playing at least one other Big 5 conference team. So we've got 9 on our schedule. Alabama's always going to have 9, maybe 10. Florida's going to have 9, maybe 10. So we're going to be fine. And I think it's important for the growth of the game of football to make sure that you continue to play other people, and we don't get so tight on 65, 70 teams, whatever. I think that's important not to do that. Now, that's my opinion. Whether that resonates across, I don't know. I think it's important for the game of football not to do that.
How about FCS?
I think you got to. I think you have to. I think that, to play one FCS team a year is probably fair. I think that's fair for them. It helps them sustain their program. They need it for financial viability to be able to maintain their programs. We need it too. To be honest with you, we can't afford to, sometimes from an injury perspective and a cost perspective, and there's lots of pieces that come into play when you play an FCS team. And it's important that you weigh all that in there. I think you got to continue to play.
Commissioner Fly said he, at the present time, he wants his favorite keeping 8-game schedule as far as the SEC is concerned. However, the caveat to that was that he likes every team to play in ECS games. Do you think it's going to be the further pressure to make that happen?
Well, the ADs and the coaches have been pretty strong in being at 8 in the league. And we've all agreed we're going to play at least one FBS or whatever you call it, Big Five kind of a game. Yeah, I understand what he wants. Let me repeat, I'm good at 8-1. So that, that'll be a discussion. I'm sure that'll get to be a discussion in the room. I mean, I think each program has to weigh in where it needs to be. For us to sit here and say we're at 8 and playing 2 others, I'm not sure that's very smart for us right now. And the reality of it is, can you get to the Final Four of the playoff system playing 8-1 out of our league? Does the strength of schedule? It'll all come down to those kind of pieces in the computer and all that stuff. Does that get you to the Final Four? People have to make their own decision. I don't think that needs to be at the conference level or at the national level. I think that needs to be at an institutional level. We need to make the decisions as to where we fit in. And if we misgauge where we fit in and all of a sudden we have this remarkable season, our strength of schedule isn't quite what it needed to be and we miss out, that's on us. That's our fault. But I don't think that becomes a decision. The growth and the health of our program needs to be based on where we see it and where we think it needs to go. As a league, we don't want to damage the league because of our schedule. But I think as long as we're playing 8 and we're playing 1, I think that's strong. We've already talked about, we work very closely with the league on our basketball schedules. We've got our league basketball schedule, and they take a look at our non-conference basketball schedules to make sure that we're all within the framework of not just scheduling everybody in the bottom third of the RPI so we don't damage the rest of the league. We'll get to that spot. I'm fine with that, but I think at some point in time, it's an institutional decision as to where you want to live or where you feel like you can live.
Oscar?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Mitch, is there anything firm as far as the future of the Ring of Honor and the new stadium? I had a call about that.
Yeah, we're going to work our way through. We've got a whole package that in terms of graphics and what we're doing with traditions and those kind of things. That is a piece of the construction package. So as we get through a lot of these bid packages and we make sure that where we are financially, we'll work our way through making sure that those traditions, we've got a group that we've worked with that's come in with designs and different ways to honor traditions and wayfinding signs and say this is where you go to get your seats. And all those pieces are included in one package. So certainly that's a piece of it. The other thing I want to find a way to do is our total University of Kentucky Hall of Fame, which we're going to announce that new class here very shortly. And I want to make sure that we find a way to honor that group as well. We talk about the Ring of Honor, and that's just our football-specific folks. We've got the folks that hang in the banners of Rupp Arena, but we've got a lot of other athletes that contributed to this deal too. I want to make sure we find a way to find some way to honor the University of Kentucky Hall of Fame. We got some really phenomenal folks, and they need to find a spot with their honor as well. So I'm not sure how we get all that done, but we're going to figure that out.
Anything else for Mitch?
Thanks for being